What was the gut feeling that you listened to that saved your life? I was 18, freshly out of high school, and got a job at a newly opened pizza place. The crew was all younger kids around my age. I quickly befriended another girl working there, but there was a guy, maybe a year or two older than me, who just gave me the weirdest vibes. I just felt uncomfortable being around him. He didn't really do anything outright strange. He hit on me and kept asking for my number, but I had a boyfriend, now my husband, and kept turning this guy down. He was never rude or about it or anything, so I had no real reason to feel anything was off about him. But I did. Sometimes while I was working, I'd feel like someone was staring at me, and I'd turn around and he'd be watching me from the other side of the kitchen. I remember telling the girl I had befriended that I just felt something was off about that guy, and he made my skin crawl. Another coworker, who had gone to school with the guy, overheard the conversation and told me that he understood. His friend could be intense and off-putting, but he was mostly harmless. The other girl and I just kind of tried to laugh it off, but she agreed that something just didn't feel right. I always worked the late shift, so I could start after my college classes, and I worked until close. One night, the creepy guy got off work maybe an hour or two before close, and I was scheduled to close. So he leaves at his scheduled time, and I work until close and then go to leave and walk to my car. It was around 1 o'clock a.m. at this time and super dark. As I'm walking to my car, I notice someone else in the parking lot. It was the creepy guy, and he was just standing there, watching me. His car was still there, so he wasn't waiting for a ride. He had just waited for me to leave. I got in my car and felt just incredibly weirded out by the entire thing. So I left, went home to my apartment, told my partner what happened, and then sent my manager a text and said I was sorry. But the creepy guy was making me uncomfortable to the point that I couldn't work there anymore. And that had been my last night. I never went back. About a month later, I see on the news that the creepy guy from the pizza place had followed the other girl from work, the one I had been friends with. One night after a closing shift, he had waited outside her house in the dark, broke in when everyone was asleep, murdered her dad, and held her hostage or assaulted her for hours while the police and SWAT team tried to get him out of the house. I still think about her a lot, and at the time, I felt genuinely guilty about what happened to her, as if I could have done something to prevent it.